Hi everyone, I've been asked to do 2 tutorials this week, and the first one we're going to focus on is Shavasana or shoulder balance. How to set up, how to get up using the wall or a chair, how to do Halasana with the chair, how to adjust when you're there to get the best possible pose. And of course we're going to use the support so that we can stay in the pose for a good period of time without compromising the neck, collapsing the chest, etc, etc. So you'll need to have a mat. If you've got a spare mat, it's a good idea to use just a spare mat to fold your blocks in. You'll need 4 foam blocks. You can also use a pile of blankets, and I'll show you the size of those. You will need a belt, and it's a good idea to have a chair handy for Halasana and a bolster. Alright, so quite a lot of equipment, but it's worth it because then your pose will be manageable, you'll be able to stay in it for a good while, you'll be able to get a good lift, and you'll have an understanding then of why we use the props by using them properly. If you don't use your props in the proper way, you won't understand why you're using them because they won't work. So I've unfolded my mat, and I'm going to put the 4 foam blocks like this going across the mat, and then I take a small bit of the mat and fold that over like that, and then fold the other bit over like that, and then I've got a nice little mat sandwich, block sandwich. I'm going to leave a bit of mat there because I want to fold that bit over when I put the blanket on. I'm just going to turn it so that that's near to the wall but not at the wall. Where's my blanket? There it is. Now, if you're using a pile of blankets, you need them to be about this size, and then at least 4. 3 is okay with a folded mat on top, but 4 is better. And then that goes on top of the mat there. Make a really neat edge so that there's no overhang, and then that end flap I fold like that, and that's where my elbows are going to go, so that I don't slide around on the blanket. I will show you how to put the belt on as well for this tutorial, although we don't always use the belt. Okay, so I'm going to tuck the t-shirt in and find my belt, which I've put somewhere. Where is it gone? Yes, there it is. Okay, so we've got one of these yoga belts, one of these Indian yoga belts, and it's a D-ring. Okay, so there's a little slit there. So if I come closer, those of you that don't know how to operate your belts, you have to have the folded edge of the metal away from the, turning towards you, the folded edge of the metal turning towards you. Put your tab into there and then bring it over, and then you've got the belt done up like that, and you can loosen it and tighten it like that. Okay. So most of you know how to do that, I'm sure, but just for those that don't, there is a way to do it so that the metal doesn't catch on the fabric. And you need to measure your belt so that when you put it on your elbows, that your arms are still by your side. So that's a little bit on the narrow side. Can you see my elbows are not quite as wide as my shoulders? So I'm just going to adjust that so that that's better, so there's a bit more room, okay? And I'm just going to put that on one elbow. Now the bolster's quite handy because that will give me something to sit on when I lie back, because it's good to have the buttocks on the same level. And the wall's very helpful because I can use the wall to help me get up. I'm going to bring my chair in for Halasana. Doesn't want to be too close, so leaving a bit of a gap there. And then I'm going to sit on the bolster, lie back, and bring my head to the floor. I'm going to put the belt on one elbow only, just so I know where it is. And I'm making sure, you can see here, that the neck, the back of the neck is touching the blocks. The shoulders are well on the lift. You can see there's about a 2-inch gap between the top of my shoulder and the edge of the block there. And I want to give it just a little tuck of the shoulders under before I lift the hips. When I bring my hips up, I keep my heels slightly off the wall. If I put my heels on the wall, I tend to get myself pushed over the edge. So just the toes on the wall, and then you lift up like that, without letting your shoulders move. And as soon as you get up, walk your shoulders a little bit further on. Then you can get your belt and put the belt on both elbows, like so, and stretch the arms back. Stretch the arms back. And this is good preparation. Go on lifting the tailbone, buttocks up, tailbone forwards, lift the knees up. Then you've got your hands on your back there, and you can go up into shoulder balance from there. Once you're up there, pushing the heels up, bringing the legs together, doing all of the actions, we're going to bring the legs down into Halasana. So you've got the chair there, and you just put the toes on the chair, and you can make further adjustments there. You can interlock the fingers, tuck the shoulders under, stretch the arms back, change the interlock, do the same action, hands on the back again, and then go up into Shavasana. To come out, you bring the legs down, bring the belt off, hands are there so you know where you're going to, you can bend the knees and roll down, and then most of the time you slide backwards like that and just let the body rest for a moment so the shoulders release, and when you come out completely, roll to your side to come up. Okay, so that's shoulder stand. So join me in part 2 when I show you how to do Shirshasana with the corner wall. Hello again. We're going to focus now on Shirshasana head balance using the corner between 2 walls to help you get a sense of balance but without having to balance. So we're going to take the mat, fold it in half from the long edge and fold it in half again. Place that in the corner. Just want to remind you of the interlock. So we interlock the fingers really well, really tightly, so that all the knuckles face forwards. The little fingers are crossed as well, so definitely don't have your little finger underneath. And you let the thumbs just rest on top of the first fingers. Okay, the wrist bones will be vertical, forearms pressing down into the floor, elbows level with the shoulders, so not wider, and sometimes people do that and go too narrow. So we'll measure up just by using the eyesight. The knuckles are going to go into that corner. Now I'm just going to move this a little bit further away so hopefully you can see. The knuckles go into that corner there, but the elbows are not going to touch the side walls. They still have to remain as wide as the shoulders. So you have to use your eyes to see. So first of all, let's put the knuckles down and then open the elbows until they're about as wide as the shoulders. You can see there's a gap there between the elbow and the side of the wall there. So there's a bit of mat showing. And the knuckles fit nicely into that corner. I'm going to open the palms so the wrist bones, they may touch the wall. And then I'm going to take the crown of the head down, making sure that the nose is looking towards the chest. Lift myself up. Now the shoulders are being held by the wall, so they're touching the wall, which gives you a feeling of compactness in the shoulders. If your shoulders are wide, then you may need to come a little bit away from that corner so that it's not too much of a narrow grip. And then from there you're going to kick up and bring your heels onto the walls. So in other words, keep your feet slightly apart and then slide your heels up, slide your buttocks up, push the forearms down to lift the shoulders. And then if you want to try the feeling of balance, you can bring the feet together. The wall is still there to hold you. It's holding my hips and it's holding my shoulders, but I've got this feeling that I'm actually balancing in the middle of the room because the legs are not touching the wall now. And then you can bring the feet apart again, push the heels up, get that feeling of lift, and then try balancing again. And then when you come down, try to keep the legs extending, shoulders lifting. And there you are, Shirshasana in the corner using the wall. Thanks for watching.